You are already under attack, not by swords, not by bullets, but by words. Every empire falls first in the mind. Every fortress crumbles from within before the walls are ever touched. And in your life, the invaders do not come wearing armor. They come smiling. They come asking questions. Questions that do not seek answers. Questions that seek your weakness. Liars are not loud. They are precise. Like assassins, they approach in silence. They tilt their head. They speak softly. And with one carefully chosen question, they make you doubt the very ground you stand on. Think about it. How many battles have you lost not because someone struck you, but because someone asked you, "Are you sure? Do you really remember it that way? Don't you trust me?" You thought they were curious, but they were cornering you. You thought they were gentle, but they were sharpening the blade of your guilt. The Stoics saw this thousands of years ago. Marcus Aurelius warned, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." And what is a liar's first strike? Not a statement, not an accusation, but a question that stains your thoughts. If they can control the question, they can control the answer. And if they can control the answer, they can control you. This is the first truth of manipulation. Words are weapons, but questions are chains. In the chaos of modern life, you don't see it coming. The liar is not just in the boardroom, not just in politics. The liar sits across from you at dinner. The liar holds your hand when you're vulnerable. The liar wears the mask of a friend, a partner, even a parent. And their questions sound harmless. But underneath, they are daggers wrapped in silk. Let me show you the battlefield you never noticed. You wake up, your phone lights up with messages. Where were you last night? Why didn't you reply? Not innocent curiosity, but a probe, a hook, a snare. Already you feel the need to defend. Already the liar is winning. At work, a colleague leans over. Are you sure you can handle this project? You tell yourself they're just checking. But inside, your confidence cracks. Doubt spreads like poison. You second-guess your abilities. You work not from clarity, but from fear of failing. The liar didn't need to sabotage you. They only needed to make you sabotage yourself. This is the battlefield the Stoics warned about. Not the clash of swords, but the clash of thoughts. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And the liar knows this better than you. They don't attack your reality. They attack your imagination. They plant a question, and you do the rest. Tell me, how many nights have you lain awake replaying a single conversation? Not because of what was said, but because of what was asked. Because the question lingered, burned, haunted. Because deep down you feared it might be true. This is why liars are powerful. Because they never need to fight you. They only need to make you fight yourself. The Stoics taught that a man who masters his own mind is invincible, but a man who loses to doubt is already conquered. So listen carefully. This series will reveal the 5 questions liars use to manipulate you. 5 questions that sound harmless, but are designed to enslave. And for each one, you will learn the Stoic weapon. Not soft advice, not polite philosophy, but the sharp edge of survival wisdom, to cut through deception, to shatter illusions, to stand unshaken when others try to pull your strings. Because liars only win when you don't see the trap. But the moment you see the snare, the moment you name it, you strip away their power. So remember this prophecy. The liar's weapon is not their tongue. It is your doubt. And tonight, you will learn to burn that doubt away. The war begins not when they lie. The war begins when they ask. Prepare yourself, because the first question is coming. The liar's question is not born in silence. It is born in a world already trembling with noise. Look around you. Everywhere, chaos. The streets overflow with horns and shouts. Screens flicker with endless demands. Your mind is pulled in 1,000 directions. And in the exhaustion of distraction, the liar finds their opening. You wake up, and before you even breathe, your phone screams at you, news, notifications, demands. Already you are drowning. Already your heart is racing. Already you are weak. And in weakness, questions pierce deeper. Modern life is a storm of manipulation. Advertisers ask, "Are you happy with your life?" Politicians ask, "Don't you see who the enemy is?" The people closest to you whisper, "Don't you love me? Don't you trust me?" Every question is a chain. Every question is a hook. And because your mind is unguarded, you answer them without noticing that you've already surrendered. The Stoics warned us. Epictetus said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit." Do you hear that? The liar can only succeed with your cooperation. And cooperation comes easiest when you are tired, when you are distracted, when you are already carrying the weight of the world. This is why modern chaos is not random, it is a weapon. It weakens you until you can no longer distinguish between an honest question and a dagger in disguise. You tell yourself you are strong, but why do you feel broken after scrolling through endless lives you cannot live? Why do you feel smaller every time someone asks, "Why don't you have more?" Why aren't you further ahead? Do you not see? The liar's question is everywhere. It is not only the manipulator in front of you, it is society itself. Desire whispers, "Wouldn't you be happier with more money?" Fear whispers, "What if they leave you?" Comparison whispers, "Why are they ahead of you? What's wrong with you?" And you answer. You always answer. That is why you suffer. Seneca said, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." But who is planting those fears? Who is feeding that imagination? Liars, manipulators, voices that profit from your doubt. And so the battlefield of modern life is this. Every moment you are bombarded with invisible enemies. Not men with swords, not beasts with claws, but questions disguised as care, questions disguised as love, questions disguised as opportunity. You are exhausted because you are fighting shadows. Every question feels like an arrow, every silence feels like a verdict. And in this constant storm, you forget the truth. You are supposed to be the master of your mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. But you have given that power away." Every liar who asks, "Are you sure? Don't you trust me? Don't you want more?" has taken a piece of your power, and you gave it freely. This is the struggle of our age, not the hunger of the body, but the hunger of the mind, not the slavery of chains, but the slavery of questions. The liar thrives in your overthinking. They feed on your doubt. They build their strength on your weakness. And as long as you chase comfort, as long as you chase validation, as long as you chase the illusions they dangle before you, you remain their prey. But here is the truth the Stoics whisper across time. Chaos is not your enemy. Chaos is your training ground. Distraction is not your excuse. Distraction is your test. The liar is not a curse. The liar is your mirror, showing you the cracks in your armor. And if you can see the cracks, you can forge them into steel. So remember this: modern life is not designed for your freedom. It is designed for your obedience. And the liar knows this. The liar will use this. They will cloak their trap in the noise of daily life. But you will not be blind. You will see. You will remember that the war is not against them. The war is against your own weakness. Because if you cannot master yourself, you will be mastered by every question. And this is where the Stoic weapon enters, not as advice, not as comfort, but as a blade, sharp, cold, uncompromising. The struggle is real, the storm is loud, but the Stoic within you is rising. Prepare yourself, because in the next moment, you will be handed the first weapon. The storm of lies is endless. The noise of modern life pounds against your mind like waves against a cliff. And if you stand unprepared, the questions will drown you. But you are not here to drown. You are here to learn how to cut. Stoicism is not a bedtime story. It is not a philosophy for quiet evenings. It is a blade, a weapon forged in the fire of battle. The men who carried it were not dreamers. They were emperors commanding armies. They were slaves surviving cruelty. They were exiles staring into death. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, their words are not gentle. They are forged from blood, loss, betrayal, and war. And if you read them as comfort, you misunderstand them. They wrote for survival. They wrote for men surrounded by liars, by enemies, by manipulators. They wrote for you. Marcus Aurelius whispered to himself every morning, "When you wake up, expect to meet traitors, the arrogant, the deceitful, the envious, the unsocial." Do you hear the prophecy in that? He knew the liar's face before the liar spoke. He expected betrayal so that when it came, he was not surprised. He was armed. Epictetus, a slave, had every reason to be broken. But he said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." What does that mean? It means the liar has no weapon until you hand it to him. They can question you. They can taunt you. They can twist their words into chains. But unless you agree to wear those chains, you remain free. And Seneca, who lived in the poisonous courts of Rome, surrounded by flatterers and manipulators, warned, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." He knew that liars spread like disease. If you let their questions live in your house, they will infest your soul. His wisdom was not about polite living. It was about survival. Choose your company, or your company will choose your downfall. This is the Stoic weapon, the recognition that every lie begins inside you. The enemy can only conquer you if you let his words land. So you train your mind like a warrior trains his hand. You sharpen it daily. You rehearse the questions before they arrive. And when they do, you strike. Let us be clear. The Stoic weapon is not denial. It is clarity. When a liar asks, "Don't you trust me?" the untrained mind trembles, panics, seeks to defend. But the Stoic mind sees the question for what it is: a hook, a trap, a shadow, and like a sword slicing through fog, it cuts cleanly. No panic, no defense, only truth, because truth needs no explanation. Truth needs no theater. Truth simply is. You must start to live as if every day is war. Not a war of blood, but a war of words. Not a war of armies, but a war of questions. And in this war, you are the soldier and the battlefield both. The Stoic weapon is discipline. Discipline in thought, discipline in response, discipline in silence. The liar thrives on reaction. They feed on your flinch, on your desperate explanations, on your need to prove yourself. The moment you explain yourself, you are already in their frame. You are already trapped. But the Stoic weapon cuts the rope. It reminds you, you owe no defense to manipulation. You owe no answer to deception. You owe no explanation to lies. Epictetus said it with ruthless precision. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Understand this well. Sometimes the greatest strike against a liar is silence. Sometimes the most powerful move is to walk away, to refuse to be dragged into their theater. Do you feel the shift? This is not philosophy as theory. This is philosophy as armor. This is wisdom as survival. Now imagine this. You enter a room. You already know there will be lies. You already know there will be manipulation. And instead of fear, you feel calm. Because you carry a blade no one can see. Not a blade of steel, but a blade of reason, a blade of silence, a blade of unshakable inner strength. This is what the Stoics prepared you for. Not peace in a garden, but peace in the middle of betrayal. Not calm in solitude, but calm when the world itself is shouting lies into your face. The liar's question is a storm, but your mind is the mountain. The storm rages, the storm screams, but the mountain does not move. And this is the weapon you will learn to wield as we uncover the first of the liar's 5 questions, the first dagger wrapped in silk, the first shadow that seeks to twist your soul. Sharpen yourself, because the liar will not wait. They are already speaking. They are already asking, and the time has come to answer, not with words, but with unbreakable silence, with unshakable reason, with the unyielding steel of Stoic thought. The war of questions has begun. Every philosophy becomes real only when it is lived. Every truth is tested not in words, but in fire. And to understand how liars work, to see how their questions pierce, we must step into 2 worlds, one ancient, one modern, both haunted by the same shadows. The ancient scene, Epictetus and the master's question. Picture this: a small, dimly lit room in Rome. A slave stands before his master. That slave is Epictetus, a man who would one day teach emperors, but now his body belongs to another. His master asks, with a smile that hides cruelty, "Epictetus, do you not owe me everything? Is it not true that your life is mine?" This is not a question. This is a chain, a trap. If Epictetus says yes, he confirms his slavery. If he says no, he invites the whip. But Epictetus, even in bondage, wields the Stoic weapon. He answers not with panic, but with clarity. "You may chain my leg, but not my will." Do you hear the steel in those words? His master thought he was asking for submission, but Epictetus revealed the lie. The master controlled his body, but never his soul. That is the first story. The liar's question is meant to shrink you, but with Stoic clarity, you reveal that their power ends at the surface. They cannot touch what is truly yours. The modern scene, the whisper of doubt in love. Now come with me to a modern home, a relationship fragile and strained. The liar is not an emperor, not a tyrant, but a lover, someone who pretends to care. The partner says softly, "Don't you love me? If you loved me, you'd do this for me." It sounds innocent, it sounds tender, but hidden inside is the poison of control. Because love is not a transaction. Love does not demand proof. And yet, how many souls have bent their will under this question? How many people have betrayed their own values just to escape the accusation of not loving enough? The question is not asked to discover truth. It is asked to control. It is the same chain Epictetus faced, dressed in modern clothing. If you answer, you lose. If you protest, you lose. But if you stand as the Stoics stood, you remember no one can use love as a weapon against a soul that knows its own worth. The battlefield of the workplace. Another story. A man sits in a meeting. His colleague leans back, smirks, and asks, "Are you sure you're capable of handling this project?" The room falls silent. The question hangs like a noose. It is not curiosity. It is sabotage. If he says yes, he sounds arrogant. If he says no, he sounds weak. This is the liar's trap. To make you fight on ground they have chosen. But the Stoic does not fight on another's ground. He creates his own. Marcus Aurelius whispers through the centuries, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." The liar's question is nothing but air until you choose to let it pierce. Imagine the man looking calmly at his colleague, not rushing to defend, not scrambling to explain, but simply stating, "I'll show you in action." And then silence. The question dies where it was born. The liar loses his power. The mirror between eras. Do you see it now? From Roman slavery to modern boardrooms, from palaces to bedrooms, the liar has always used the same weapon. Questions designed to twist your soul. Don't you trust me? Don't you love me? Are you sure? Each one is meant to pull you off balance. Each one is designed to plant doubt. But what the Stoics teach us is this: the question is not the enemy. The real enemy is your fear of silence, your terror of standing firm without rushing to defend, your hunger for approval, your thirst for validation. These are the cracks through which the liar enters. The Stoic response. So what do we learn from these stories? Epictetus shows us that the liar cannot reach the soul unless you surrender it. The lover's manipulation shows us that genuine love is never proven by bending to demands. The workplace trap shows us that silence and calm action are more powerful than endless defense. The liar thrives on your need to be seen as good, as loyal, as capable, but the Stoic thrives on one thing only: truth within. The stories change, the characters change, but the battle is eternal. The liar's weapon remains the same, and so must yours. Because if you do not learn to see the question for what it is, you will live your entire life as a puppet, and you will never notice the strings, the transition. You have seen the stories, you have felt the traps. Now it is time to prepare for war, not with swords, not with shields, but with strategies so sharp they cut through the liar's illusions before they even take shape. The next part will hand you the battle plan, not poetry, not comfort, but orders, commands, disciplines to live by, because a soldier without strategy is already defeated. And you are not here to be defeated. You are here to rise. Sharpen yourself. The battle plan is coming. The liar is clever. The liar is patient. The liar is relentless. But you're no longer unarmed. You carry Stoic steel, and now you must learn to wield it. This is not philosophy as poetry. This is philosophy as war manual. And here are your commands, your survival tactics, your unbreakable disciplines. 1. When anger rises, pause. The liar will always seek to provoke. They will twist a question to ignite your rage. They want you emotional. They want you reckless. They want you so busy defending yourself that you forget the truth. When the fire rises inside you, do not strike back. Do not explain. Do not plead. Do not defend. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." So pause. Take the breath they do not expect. Let silence hang in the air like a blade. That pause is power. That pause is clarity. That pause is the reminder that you are not their puppet. 2. When fear hunts you, breathe. The liar thrives on your fear. Are you sure you can do this? Do you know what will happen if you fail? Don't you realize what's at stake? Every question is meant to rattle your core, but the Stoic knows fear is smoke. It feels solid, but it vanishes when you see it clearly. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." So when fear strikes, return to your breath. Feel the air enter, feel it leave. Nothing else is real, nothing else matters. Fear cannot live in the present moment, and the liar cannot chain a soul anchored in now. 3. When desire whispers, remember your duty. The liar will not always attack with threats. Sometimes they seduce. Don't you want more money? Don't you want their approval? Don't you want what everyone else has? Desire is the most dangerous question of all because it sounds like opportunity. It feels like progress, but it is slavery dressed in gold. Epictetus warned, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. The moment you chase what is not yours to command, you hand the liar your leash. So when desire whispers, remember your duty. Your duty is not to be rich. Your duty is not to be adored. Your duty is not to own what others flaunt. Your duty is to master yourself, to guard your soul, to live in virtue, not vanity. 4. When doubt creeps, anchor to truth. Are you sure? Can you prove it? Isn't it possible you're wrong? The liar's questions multiply like shadows, and shadows spread fastest when you do not shine the light of truth. The Stoic does not need endless proof. The Stoic needs only clarity. What is within my control? What is outside it? If it is within, act. If it is outside, release. That is the shield. That is the sword. That is the strategy that ends 1,000 doubts before they even begin. 5. When manipulation comes, disguised as care, stand firm. The liar will often come in the mask of love. I'm only asking because I care. If you trusted me, you'd do this. I just want what's best for you. But the Stoic knows true care does not chain. True care does not demand. True care does not disguise control as affection. So stand firm. Say little. Do not explain yourself into their net. Let your calm be your answer. Let your silence be your refusal. For sometimes, silence is thunder. The soldier's mind. These are not suggestions. They are orders. If you wish to live free, if you wish to shatter the liar's illusions, then you must train like a soldier trains in the field. Daily, ruthlessly, without excuse. A soldier does not wait for the battle to begin his training. He trains every day so that when the battle comes, his sword moves without thought. So must you. You must rehearse the liar's questions before they arrive. You must train your silence. You must sharpen your pause. You must anchor your mind to truth. Only then will the liar find you unbreakable. Only then will their questions dissolve into air. Only then will you stand not as prey, but as predator, the predator of illusions. The transition. You now carry the battle plan. 5 survival tactics against the liar's 5 daggers. But tactics alone are not enough. War demands fire. War demands intensity. War demands the storm that builds inside a soul until it bursts like thunder. That storm is coming. The climax is near. And in it, you will face the ultimate question. Will you live as a puppet, or will you rise as iron? The liar's questions have cornered you for years, but now you feel it, the storm building inside. Every doubt, every manipulation is fuel. The Stoic within you awakens. Marcus Aurelius warned, "The world is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." So you change the thought. You refuse the chains. The liar whispers, but your silence is thunder. Your calm is fire. The storm breaks, and you rise like iron. The liar asks, "Don't you trust me?" It sounds innocent, but hidden inside is the trap. If you answer yes, you hand them control. If you answer no, you look guilty. The Stoic response? Trust is not declared. Trust is proven by action. You owe no theater. You owe no defense. Your calm stare is enough. Your silence exposes the lie, and the question collapses in dust. Are you sure? The liar plants doubt. But the Stoic knows certainty is not demanded by others. Certainty is lived. If it is within your control, act. If it is not, release. Doubt has no teeth when you know the boundary. Don't you love me? The liar cloaks chains in affection, but love is not submission. Love is not blackmail. The Stoic remembers true love frees, false love demands. And you walk away from false love like a warrior leaving a burning house. Why are you overreacting? The liar reframes your clarity as weakness, but the Stoic knows. To name injustice is not overreaction. To protect your soul is not weakness. Your calm reply is a blade. I see what I see, and you refuse to be moved. Who do you think you are? The liar's final weapon, identity. If they can make you doubt yourself, they win. But you answer with your life, with your discipline, with your unshakable inner strength. You are not who they say you are. You are who your actions declare. The liar's arsenal is empty. Their questions lie broken on the ground, and you stand silent, steady, untouchable. The Stoics have armed you. The war of questions is no longer a prison. It is your training ground. Every liar becomes your teacher. Every manipulation becomes your sharpening stone. And in the silence, a final truth echoes. The world will break you. The question is, will it find you made of glass or of iron? You know your answer. You are iron, and nothing they ask will ever chain you again. If these words found you, carry them forward, not for me, not for this channel, but for the soul that still trembles in the storm of lies. The world needs more Stoics.